Happiness means cry a little and laugh a lot and be thankful for whatever we have got. A very good morning to all my lovely petines. Children, as you can see that all over summer season have approached. Now it's really up to us whether we enjoy that season or we let it go like this. Why am I talking about summer season? Does it have any connection between our topic and this lovely morning? Yes, children, we have. In your English book, the very first chapter, An Eventful Summer, is based on our summer season and how the children are making their life beautiful. They are converting their boring life into an eventful one. This we are going to learn in this chapter. There are 3 children who will be making their life eventful one by their company, by their views and all. Now let's focus on the text and let's read your chapter number 1, An Eventful Summer.
So students, here is the very first chapter, An Eventful Summer. Before I explain the story, let me tell you about the major characters of this. The very first is Scoot, whose name is Jean Louse Finch, then her father Atticus, her brother Jeremy. Scoot is a nickname of Jean Louse Finch and Jem is the nickname of older brother Jeremy. One more character is there and her name is Calpurnia. Calpurnia is their cook. Basically, these 4 characters have been introduced in the beginning. Later on, we will come to know about a few more characters. Let's read the story. One of the great books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird, which was written in 1960, recounts the events that took place in the small town of Macomb during the 1930s. Actually, students, this chapter, An Eventful Summer, is an extract from modern American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird, it was written in 1960 and the events which were taken place in 1930, all the events are mentioned in that. And it tells about a small place and the name of that place is Macomb. It is narrated through the voice of 6-year-old Scoot. I gave you the introduction of Scoot, whose full name is Jean Louse Finch. She lives with her father Atticus, her older brother Jeremy. In this extract from the novel, we see how a dull summer in Macomb becomes eventful. In the introduction also, I told you that we are going to read about the children who converted their boring summers into an eventful one. Macomb was an old town, but it was a tired old town when I first knew it. Who is I here? Obviously, Scoot is I here as she is the narrator of the story. So Macomb was an old town and it was a tired old town because the people were not energetic, neither they had any work, nor they were in a hurry to go somewhere. nor they wanted to earn something. So basically, it was a tired old town. In rainy weather, what used to happen? The streets turned to red slope. Streets turned into red liquid waste, means the roads were so much raw. Grass grew on the sidewalk. Sidewalk means paved path where pedestals go. The courthouse sagged in the square. Square means area. Sagged means become soft and bent. The courthouse used to become soft and it used to get wet at the time of rainy season. Somehow it was hotter then, and in the hot season, even after rainy season, there was too much hot. A black dog suffered on a summer's day. Not only human beings, in fact, the condition of animals were also pathetic. A black dog suffered on a summer's day. Bony mules. Who are called bony mules? Bony mules means very weak horses. Hitched. Hitched means obstacle. Children, you can see on the screen that every difficult word have been underlined, and I have tried my level best to write the meaning of each word. So here we were talking about bony mules who used to face obstacle to Hoover carts. Hoover carts means they used to face obstacles to pull their carts. They used to they used to blow the flies in uncomfortable shade of the live oak on the square. In fact, one oak tree was there in the square. Even then there was uncomfortable hot. People moved slowly then, as I told you that they were not in a hurry. They ambled. They walked across the square, shuffled in and out of the stores around it. Means they were moving here and there, as I told you that they were idle. They did not do any work, took their time about everything. Means they had time for everything because they were idle. A day was 24 hours long but seemed longer. Obviously, when we don't have any work, we are idle, we are not busy in any kind of chorus, then the day seem 24, in fact, longer than 24 hours. There was no hurry, for there was nowhere to go. Why the people of Mecum will get hurry, as they were not supposed to go anywhere, nothing to buy because they had no money, nothing to see outside the boundaries of Macomb County. Generally, what happens when people do not feel comfortable, they do not get any earning source, they don't feel energetic, enthusiastic, or worth living somewhere. Obviously, they think to change the place. But the people of Macomb, in fact, did not want to leave that place. But it was a time of vague optimism for some of the people. Vague means unclear. If some people were there who used to be optimistic means people who see the positive sides. Even to them also the things were not clear because they did not have any perfect direction to move. They did not have any aim in their life. Macomb County had recently been told that it had nothing to fear but fear itself. County means any authority member, and Macomb authority member had recently been told. It was told him that the people of Mecumb are fearful of something. And what was that fear? The fear itself, nothing else. We lived on the main residential street. Who are we here? Obviously, Scoot's family, in which Atticus, Jeremy, and one more character has been introduced here, that is Calpurnia. Calpurnia was their cook. So we lived on the main residential street in town. Atticus, Jem, and I plus Calpurnia. Calpurnia was their cook. Jem and I found our father satisfactory. Our father was contented, satisfactory. He played with us, read to us, and treated us with courteous detachment. Courteous means manners, detachment means freedom, means Atticus, their father was not that much strict. He used to play with them, read with them, treat them in a mannerful way, and he was a person who believed in giving freedom also. But Calpurnia was something else again. Calpurnia was some sort of different lady. She was all angles and bones, means she had a very different vision about living a life, about controlling the children. She was nearsighted, nearsighted and squinted. Squinted means looked with eyes partly shut to see better. When we see the things more closely, then we just close our eyes a little bit. That is the squinted condition. And nearsighted means she had some problem seeing the things at a distance. Now, the appearance of Calpurnia has been described here, students. Her hand was wide as a bed slat, as a log, a piece of bed is there. Her hands were like that, and they were so much hard, twice as hard, means double, even harder than the bed slat. She was always ordering me out of the kitchen, asking me why I couldn't behave as well as Jem when she knew he was older. Now, at that time, Scoot used to get irritated that why Calpurnia always wanted me to behave like Jem. Didn't she know that Jem was older than me? So obviously, if Jem was older than me, he would have behaved in a better way. And calling me home when I wasn't ready to come. This happens with you also, my dear children. When mama says, na, come back home, then you people also say sometime, no mom, we want to play for some more time. We want to spend some more time with our friends. In the same way, mothers never get changed. Calpurnia, who had a motherly manners, who had motherly figure, she used to call them home when Scoot was not ready to come. Our battles were epic and one-sided. Epic means remarkable. We used to fight a lot, but those were one-sided because Calpurnia always won, mainly because Atticus always took her side. Atticus used to think that Calpurnia is big, is older in age, so definitely she was right. And Atticus also used to take Calpurnia's side. She had been with us ever since Jem was born, and I had felt her tyrannical presence as long as I could remember. Tyrannical means using power in a very cruel way because she was older in our house and she knew this very well how to use that power which was given to her to take care of the children. Our mother died when I was 2. When Scoot was 2 years old, at that time their mother died. So I never felt her absence. Since Scoot was very small when she lost her mother, she was a Graham from Montgomery. Montgomery is the name of a place which is there in France, and she was Graham there. Atticus met her when he was first elected to the state legislature. Now the meeting of the parents has been described here that when did they meet? The mother was a Graham from a place which is there in France named Montgomery, and Atticus met her when he was first elected to the state legislature. He was middle aged then, means between 35 to 40 age. She was 15 years junior. She was 15 years his junior. Mother was 15 years younger than the father. Jem was the product of their first year, means Jem was born after they got married and after 1 year only. 4 years later, I was born, and 2 years later, our mother died from a sudden heart attack. They said it ran in her family. I did not miss her, but I think Jem did. Scoot was only 2 years old when she lost her mother. Obviously, a child of 2 years does not have much memories of her parents, his or her parents, but yes, if the child is 6 years old, he has ample of memories and he can feel the presence as well as the absence of the parents. So I did not miss her, but I think Jem did. He remembered her clearly, and sometimes in the middle of a game he would sigh at length. And how Scoot came to know that Jem is missing mother because she could remember it clearly sometimes in the middle of a game. When the game was prolonged, then she used to observe. Scoot used to observe that in the middle of the game, he used to go off and play by himself behind the car house. He could not stay with his friends for more time and he used to get separated from them and started playing by himself separately behind the car house. When he was like that, it was a kind of regular action that he used to miss his mother, he used to get separated from other friends. I knew better than to bother him. Initially, Scoot knew this. Scoot didn't know that why Jem is behaving in such a way, but when she came to know that he misses his mother, then she started knowing him in a better way. When I was almost 6 and Jem was nearly 10, our summertime boundaries. What does this boundary mean, children? Obviously, the boundaries which were set by Calpurnia. Scoot was 6 years old. Jem was 10 years old. At that time, their summertime boundaries which were fixed by Calpurnia within calling distance of Calpurnia. Many a times it happens, na? Our mothers also say, do not go so far for playing. Come after half an hour. Do not go for more time. The same restrictions were there on Scoot and Jem also. And which were those boundaries? Mrs. Henry Lafayette Dabio's house, 2 doors to the north of us, and the Redley place, 3 doors to the south. Out of these houses, we were not allowed to go and play. We were never tempted to break them. Children have these children, Scout and Jem, they had never tried to break those boundaries, means they did not try it ever to go beyond those doors which were fixed by Calpurnia. The Redley place was inhabited. Inhabited means a resident of by an unknown entity. Entity means creature. The mere description of whom was enough to make us behave for days on end. For days on end means the evening time, or we can call it a twilight time also. Twilight time is that time when neither darkness is there nor sunlight is there. At that time, actually, the Redley place was haunted. People had that belief that an unknown entity lives there. Children were scared out of it, and they always used to behave properly, and they used to come back to their own house before the day ends. Mr. Dubos was plain hell. Moreover, Mrs. Dubos, which was their neighbor, she was also a very strict lady. Now, children, the story has come to the turning point, and now it is the time to justify the title, An Eventful Summer. That was the summer Dale came to us. Now, Dale has appeared. Who is Dale? Dale is a new friend of Scoot and Jem, but in the beginning only he doesn't become their friend. Let's read. Early one morning, as we were beginning our day's play in the backyard, children were ready to play in the backyard as usual. Jem and I heard something next door in Miss Rackles Haverford's collard patch. There was a vegetable patch, a line which was there of vegetables. So children were ready to play as usual in the morning. Then suddenly they heard, Jem and I heard that some kind of noise was there. We went to the wire fence to see if there was a puppy. They were thinking that a puppy is there. Miss Rackles' rat terrier was expecting, and because of that noise, they were expecting that as Miss Rackles' rat does, he was a kind of active dog, the rat. So such kind of puppy is there. Instead, we found something sitting looking at us. Sitting down. He wasn't much higher than the collards. Means instead. In fact, they did not find any puppy. They saw that a boy was there and his height was quite short. In fact, he wasn't much higher than the collards. We stared at him until he spoke. We did not speak anything. We were staring at him, and then suddenly he started speaking. Hey. Then Jem also replied. Hey yourself, said Jem pleasantly. I'm Charles Baker Harris, he said. I can read. In a hurry, as Jem and Scoot were staring at him, he started speaking. He introduced himself by saying that he is Charles Baker Harris and I can read. So what? I said. Fine if you can read. What should I do? I just thought you would like to know I can read. You got anything needs reading, I can do it. What? Dill says, I just thought you would like to know that I can read. You would like to know that I can read. If you want to get something for reading, then I can help you. Then Jem asked, how old are you? 4.5? There is a sign of interrogation at the end, means Jem is observing according to his height that might be 4.5. Going on 7. Dill replied that I am going to be 7 years old. I am not 4.5 years old. Shoot, no wonder then, said Jem. Fine, then there is no wonder that you can read because you are going to be 7 years old, and any person, any child who is 7 years old, he or she can read. Jerking his thumb at me. Again, who is me here? The narrator of the story, Scoot. Scoot Yonders has been reading ever since she was born, and she ain't even started to school yet. Now, Jem says by making a fun of Scoot that she is Scoot. She can read since she was born and she did not even start the school. You look right puny for going on 7. Means according to your look, according to your height, you look so weak, so small. How can you going to be 7? To this, Dill replied, I am little, but I am old. Means I look younger, but I am old. I am not 4.5 years old. I am going to be 7. Jem brushed his hair back to get a better look. Why don't you come over, Charles Baker Harris? Now, Jem is confirming the name Charles Baker Harris because at the end sign of interrogation is there. He said, first of all, Jem brushed his hair, means he pulled up his hair to get them back so that a better look can be there. Why don't you come over? Out of that collard, Jem says, Charles Baker Harris. By question mark, it is shown that he was confirming his name. Lord, what a name! That's not funnier than yours. Aunt Raquel says your name is Jeremy Atticus Finch. Now what? Dill replies. Dill is also not lesser in humor. He says that my name is not funnier as it's yours. Aunt Raquel told me that your name is Jeremy Atticus Finch. Jem scowled. He becomes angry. I'm big enough to fit mine, he said. Your name is longer than you are. Bet it's a foot longer. Now what Jem says? At least this name suits me. My name is not that much unsuitable as it is yours. Your name is quite long and you are so small. Folks call me Dill. Now who are folks? Folks are local people, and Dill says, fine, if you have problem in pronouncing Charles Baker Harris, then you can call me Dill. Struggling under the fence. Jem was talking to him, and still Dill was under the fence. He was in between the collards only. Do better if you go over it instead of under it, I said. Where had you come from? Now Scoot is asking that Dill to come out of the collards because he was not comfortable there. Moreover, further she asked, where had you come from? Dill was from Meridian, Mississippi. It's a state in US. was spending the summer with his aunt Miss Raquel. Generally, it happens with children also that they want to spend their summer with their maternal grandmother or any of their aunts wheresoever they are comfortable. So Dill also came to spend his summers with his aunt Miss Raquel and would be spending every summer in Macomb from now on, because not only because of Miss Raquel, he got two new friends also. So he wanted to spend every summer in Macomb from now on. His family was from Macomb County originally. His mother worked for a photographer in Meridian, had entered his pictures in a beautiful child contest and won $5. Dale's mother used to work for a photographer in Meridian, and she had sent Dale's photographs in child contest. In that, those photographs won her $5 also. She gave the money to Dale, who went to the picture show 20 times on it. Dale went to the picture show 20 times. Obviously, when students, any child wins any medal or any certificate, they show it to his or her friends also. Don't have any picture show here except Jesus. One is the courthouse. In the courthouse sometimes, said Jem. Ever see anything good? What Jem says, that we don't have any picture to show it to you, as you have to show to someone because you won the prize also. We don't have any picture that we can show it to you except Jesus, which is there in the courthouse. Ever see anything good means anything else is there which you saw, it was good. Dale had seen Dracula, a revelation that moved Jem to eye him with the beginning of respect. After the conversation that was going on among the children, that Dale was from Mississippi, he won a contest, means his pictures won a contest. Then Jem asked, do you have something good to see, good to watch? Then he says that I have seen Dracula, the movie, and by chance that movie was Jem's favorite also. And that was the turning point. That was the point which brought respect for Dale in the eyes of Jem. Tell it to us, he said. And out of curiosity, Jem said, tell something more about Dracula. Dale was a curiosity. He wore blue linen shorts that buttoned to his shirt. His hair was snow white and stuck to his head like duck fluff. Dale was a curiosity, means he used to speak as much only that something was asked him, not beyond that. He was wearing a blue linen shorts that buttoned to his shirt. These days we are calling it a jumpsuit. So such kind of attire he was wearing. His hair was snow white and stuck to his head like duck fluff. Duck fluff means soft and fluffy like duck's feather. He was a year my senior, but I towered over. Dale was 1 year senior to Jem, but because of Jem's height, he used to look older than Dale. As as he told us the old tale. Old tale means about Dracula. His blue eyes would lighten and darken. Many a times it happens na, that when we also tell someone about any story, any kind of joke, then the same expressions are clearly visible on our face. In the same way, when Dill used to tell about the old tale, his blue eyes would lighten and darken. His laugh was sudden and happy. Sometimes he used to laugh also while narrating the story. He habitually pulled at a cowlick in the center of his forehead. Cowlick means hair that grows in a different direction from the rest and is difficult to keep flat. In between the narration of the story, he used to lift his cowlick. When Dill reduced Dracula to dust. Dill reduced Dracula to dust means when that was the climax of the story, the ending of the story, that finally Dracula was brought into dust. Jem said the show sounded better than the books. Obviously, there are lot many stories which are written in the books, but it always depends upon the person who is narrating the story, whether he is able to create the interest in listeners or not. In the same way, Jem says that the way you have narrated the story, it is sounded better than it is written in the book. I asked Dill where his father was. You ain't said anything about him. Now, Scoot asked Dill, where is your father? You have not even discussed about your father. I haven't got one. Dill replied in negative that he has no father. Is he dead? No. Scoot asked whether your father is dead. Then again he said no. Then if he is not dead, you have got one, haven't you? Then if your father is not dead, then you must have a father. Everyone has a father. Dill blushed. He just smiled and Jem told me to hush, to be quiet. A sure sign that might be Dill doesn't want to talk about his father. Fine. So Jem told me to be quiet. A sure sign that Dill had been studied and found accepted. The same hush, be quiet, sound was there, signal was there that Dill had been studied and he had to accept that sound only, to be quiet about his father. Thereafter, the summer passed in routine contentment. Contentment means satisfaction. Earlier they used to get bored. Now their summers have become eventful. Routine contentment was improving our tree house. Earlier they were two. They had no innovative ideas. Dill appeared and he was full of ideas. Improving our tree house that rested between giant twin China berry trees in the backyard, and where that tree house was, it was there between giant twin China berry trees in the backyard. Fussing, running through our list of dramas. They not only used to play in the China berry tree where the tree house was there. In fact, they used to talk a lot about their list of dramas also, and the dramas were based on the works of Oliver Optic, Victor Appleton and Edgar Rice Burroughs. In this matter, we were lucky to have Dill. These all works were there which were liked by children and they were happy. They were so much lucky that they had Dill with them, because the characters which were not liked to play by Jem and Scoot, He played the character parts formerly thrust upon me. Means the characters which were forced upon me to enact like them, now Dill used to enact. And which were those characters? The Ape of Tarzan. Ape means copy. Mr. Crabtree in the Rover Boys. Mr. Damon in Tom Swift. These all are the characters which were earlier thrust upon Scout, but now Dill used to play those characters. Thus, we came to know Dill as a pocket Merlin. Merlin means wizard, a magician. Pocket means small. He was just like a small Merlin, small wizard for us, whose head teemed. Teemed means full of eccentric plans, unusual plans, strange longings, strange wishes, and old fashioned ideas. Means he knew this very well, how to enjoy in these stories, how to enjoy practically with the children, how to enjoy in the garden, and all those things. Now their life had become contented, contentment was there, and finally the title also dignifies the explanation, an eventful summer. I hope, children, you have understood the chapter. Read it once again, listen to the video, watch the video, and try to understand it thoroughly. Till then, goodbye.